Mr. Speaker, this is sensible, well-balanced legislation which I fully support. Thank you.
Simon O'Connor.
Oh, thank you. Oh, jolly decent of you. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chair, I just want to talk to us. I mean, alcohol, for better or worse, a member earlier used the word ubiquitous. It is something which is part and parcel of our society, but that is a starting point. This is something we cannot, will not and should not get rid of completely, and so therefore it's always an important role of the government and this Parliament altogether to make the prudent decisions and a balanced decision. And when we look at this bill in its entirety, but certainly in Clause 6, or Part 6 rather, Mr. Chair, this government is taking the prudent approach around alcohol, and one that is firmer rather than softer. Mr. Speaker, people in Select Committee of late have heard me waxing on, if you like, about balancing rights. And a lot of the debates that we're having here today is the right for ordinary Kiwis to have a drink as they choose at reasonable prices without much disruption versus those who do misuse it. And the key parts within Part 6 are helping that prudent approach by this government to manage alcohol. The first is providing that power back to the communities. In Tamaki recently, we've had a spate of liquor shops attempting to open. Fortunately, they have not, but the community's pressure was not actually the direct cause. Talking to the licensing authorities at the moment, basically only economic considerations can be brought in. However, as the community, myself and others jumped up and down, for want of a better phrase, those wanting to open up their convenience stores basically backed off for fear of community backlash and so forth. This bill, and Clause 6, Part 6 in particular, will help enable that power of the community to be regulated, to be there, to be present and to make a difference. It is the voice of the community, and I certainly know in my own electorate they want that voice to be heard. But we've heard a lot of debate too, and some around the supplementary order papers, around minimum pricing and RTDs. Well, Mr. Chair, the National Party, and myself included of course, are all about personal responsibility. And the first opportunity here is for the industry to put in those regulations, to put in those appropriate structures to manage the pricing of alcohol and to manage RTDs. It is without a doubt, particularly in RTDs, that they are a problem. When I go into different parts of my electorate, you can see them, Codies I think they call them, not really my preferred drink, but they are there. They are crying out to young people and so forth. The government understands this. This House understands it. But this party on this side of the House understands that responsibility starts with individuals themselves and those who do the sales. This bill enables those parties to make their decisions, and importantly, Mr. Chair, importantly, the government can step in. This bill provides the opportunity for the government to step in at the right time and not prematurely. Mr. Speaker, I want to, Mr. Chair, I'll get that right eventually, want to come back to what a lot of people have been talking around, which is the concern around, say, labelling and so forth, excise taxes and so forth. The key is actually the areas of why people choose to drink are outside the mandate of this bill. You can label these up as much as you want, put on all the prices, but why youth in particular, but right across our generations, Kiwis choose to anaesthetise themselves with alcohol is a question well outside the scope of the bill, and therein lies, I believe, the fundamental question. Why is it that people choose to anaesthetise themselves with alcohol? And really, at the end of the day, all this labelling, all that education per se, all the taxes that could be added on to this, all the regulations in the world will not solve that problem in the first instance. This bill is a strong and positive step to curb the usages, but a lot of this element around why people use alcohol is well outside the mandate of this bill. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Sir William Seo.
Thank you very much for the opportunity.